The New York Knicks have been the best defense in basketball since the All-Star break. But do you know just how good they've really been? In the 12 games since everyone returned back from Indianapolis, the New York Knicks have posted a 106 defensive rating, which is about 9.5 points better than league average, a historic number. One look at the New York Knicks box score over the last week, and it's honestly incredible that they've held their opponents to less than 100 total points in the last 5 games. We know Tom Thibodeau is a defensive wizard, as he's anchored historically great defenses both in Chicago and as an assistant coach in Boston. But how are they doing this in 2024 when every team's offensive efficiency is at an all-time high? One thing that jumps out on film when watching the Knicks is how great their communication is. Their rotations are timely and on point, and defenders are quick to react when something goes wrong. For example, the Knicks like to jump out at the ball handler and force them into difficult passes through the hands of defenders. But when passes do get through, they rely on the low defender to come over and rotate on time. Sometimes this requires closing out with almost reckless abandonment, forcing teams into very contested three-point shots. Other times it's simply great awareness from help defenders. OG Anunoby gets hit with a wicked backdoor cut, but notice Josh Hart and Isaiah Hartenstein are anticipating the backdoor play and are in position to prevent a pass from even getting through. Or take this play for example, where the Knicks are in their usual defensive rotation. DiVincenzo jumps out at the ball handler and misses, but it's okay because Deuce McBride is there in time to prevent an advantage. This vertical camera angle really gives you a good understanding of how great the Knicks' defensive rotations are. Josh Hart funnels his defender into Isaiah Hartenstein in drop coverage and then peels off his man to go prevent the lob pass to DeAndre Ayton. This shows you how much trust the Knicks defenders have in each other, which is another crucial aspect of a successful defense. This is also quick thinking from the defenders. Watch Isaiah Hartenstein on this play rotate all the way down quickly to prevent this lob pass. I mean, just watch this one again. This is quick second thinking with only a millisecond reaction time even available to be able to prevent a lob. Obviously, it helps having a great defensive big man like Isaiah Hartenstein, who I think is very worthy of all defensive consideration. I think he's one of the 5 best drop coverage big men in the league, and that length and quick reaction time makes it possible to contest shots that most centers can't. I marvel at Hartenstein's defensive awareness and instincts on plays like this. He's not just some big man that relies on athletic plays from his guards to make highlights, but I think he's one of the smartest bigs in the league currently. This play against the Kings is a thing of beauty. He recognizes DiVincenzo is well behind the screen, so he leaves his drop coverage position to contest this 3 on Malik Monk and forcing a miss. These high IQ plays often don't show up in the box score, but they're so crucial to what New York does, and it's the reason why their defense has been elite. This is split-second reaction time from Hartenstein and Achua to recognize a blown defensive coverage and prevent the easy lob. We've mentioned how spectacular Hartenstein's drop coverage defense is this year, and the Knicks funnel Anthony Black to Isaiah Hartenstein so he can make a play and alter this shot at the rim. Achua, I would say, is a little bit more mobile on his feet and probably has a longer wingspan and uses that to his advantage to contest blocks that shouldn't be made possible. And of course, both centers graduated from Roy Hibbert's class of verticality, as Hartenstein stays in front of Sabonis and avoids drawing a foul on a beautiful contest. So when you combine great on-ball defensive pressure with a smart defensive big man that's great in drop coverage, mobile, and has a high IQ, you can get great defensive results, right? Is that all that there is to the Knicks, or is there something else that we're missing here as well? One thing that's jumped out watching the Knicks on defense is their positioning. As we've mentioned before, they like to go for steals and blitz the ball handler when he puts the ball on the floor. But oftentimes playing aggressive in the gaps or zoning up on defenders leaves room for teams to attack if they can make good skip passes. But the Knicks are one of the best defensive teams at preventing 3-on-2 advantages from converting. The Knicks double Tyrese Maxey at midcourt, but watch Precious Achiuwa zone up between Tyrese Maxey and Paul Reed to prevent any advantage so OG Anunoby can recover. And this is where Donte DiVincenzo comes into play, because I like to consider him the free safety of this team. He's the one that often zones up the two defenders in these 3-on-2 situations, and his defensive instincts make steals like this one possible. Deuce McBride was in a similar situation in the same game, and Paolo Banchero really struggled making these passes when the Knicks were in this type of formation. On this play, DiVincenzo was guarding Buddy Hield, but he recognizes the advantage is going to come from this pocket pass, so he stays in the paint to deflect the pass. Or take this play, where DiVincenzo recognizes the Monk-Sabonis pick and roll and rotates early to almost intercept the pocket pass. This type of assignment in Thibodeau's scheme requires a high defensive motor, which is also what stands out to me when watching DiVincenzo, because he'll often come from away from the play to double team and force steals with his length. Of course, he and all the Knicks guards specialize at getting steals from behind. Don't think for 1 second if you turn away from the play that ball is going to stay in your hands, because DiVincenzo is like a turnover magnet and that's a dunk. DiVincenzo is asked to do almost everything in this defensive scheme. There goes that blitzing the ball handler again and forcing Maxey into a difficult jumper. And of course, his ability to swipe down and get steals is what makes him one of the best low-man guard defenders in the league right now. Watch on this play where DiVincenzo anticipates the empty side pick and roll, and he's there in time to get this swipe down steal. Of course, these swipe downs are also crucial to what the Knicks do. They are near the top of the league in deflections since the All-Star break. Josh Hart and OG Anunoby are probably two of the best at getting swipe downs on this team. You see Josh Hart on this play swipe down just in time to prevent what would be an easy KJ Martin dunk. OG is a very physical defender, and he likes to use his strength to jump dribble handoffs. Buddy Hield is driving to his right side to the cup, and there goes that blitzing of the ball handler again from OG to force a fast break opportunity. You can see how blitzing the ball handler really disrupts what teams try to do, because 2 plays later, the same situation occurs. OG fakes the blitz, which leads to Oubre picking up his handle, and it leads to a contested mid-range pull-up. Both Hart and OG are exceptionally strong, and they have also shown the ability to maintain strong post position against bigger players. OG rotates early for the Sabonis-Fox pick and roll and does not budge when Sabonis lowers his shoulder into him to try and get position. There goes the swipe down, and it's another turnover. And here's Josh Hart maintaining his own low post position against Tobias Harris and forces him into a difficult contested fadeaway. Anytime ball handlers put the rock on the floor, they are at the mercy of the Knicks' nailed defense. Franz Wagner tries to get past Isaiah Hartenstein, but he's no match for Josh Hart's hands, and it's another turnover. This type of help defense is why I think the Knicks will be such a hard team to score on in the playoffs. DeAndre Ayton thinks he's safe working in the mid-range again, but there goes DiVincenzo getting the swipe, and it's another steal. Everyone, including Jalen Brunson, is active in these spots. You see JB jumps out here at this dribble handoff between Oubre and Buddy Hield, and it's another coast-to-coast play. Sure, you can say that the Knicks' competition over the last week has been fairly unimpressive. None of these teams are really spectacular on offense, but that shouldn't take away from what they've been producing, because it is rare in this era of high-scoring basketball to see a team so dominant holding teams under 100. And to be able to do this while playing north of 40 minutes a night means that not only is the Knicks' strategy on defense good, but these players are in excellent shape and high IQ, and this is why I think the Knicks are going to be such a dangerous out in the playoffs. Oh, and one more thing, if you didn't notice already, all the highlights from this video are from the last week alone. This is really an indicator of how many highlights this team has and just how on point they are, which if anything is only further confirmation that this will be a tough team to stop. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you've made it to the end, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and let me know what type of videos you'd like to see next. As always, make sure you follow me on Twitter. I'll link it in the description box below. I post threads and give updates on when my next videos are, so I encourage you to give me a follow there. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.